All right, welcome to E.G.Dot and Friends. I am your host, Elden Killian, and today we will be presenting the Easter Bunny who laid the golden board game. Every game ranked monthly, April 2021. This is part of my monthly Every Game Ranked series, in which I discuss all the board games I played in the previous month and where I rank them. Anyway, without further ado, I played 24 games this month. We're going to show them in three different... there we go. We're going to show them in three different sections here. The first section here is called, Is This the Egg from Last Year? And so these are the games that maybe weren't the greatest of games. I did play quite a few new-to-me games, some of them newer games, some of them quite old, including this very first one, which was the worst game I played this month. But let's go ahead and get on with it. This game is What's Yours Like? This is a party game I found at a thrift store some time ago. It's been sitting on my shelf. I had an opportunity to have some of my family over who generally like games like this a little more than stuff that I generally play. I thought it might be interesting. And it was, it was a thing. Went around the table. What you're trying to do in this game is it's a competitive game. So you're trying to guess things, and everybody has to say something truthful about an object that's on the card. So you pass the card around. You have to say something that's truthful, but you don't want them to guess. But it does have to be truthful. So an example might be my car, and I would say, well, mine is dirty. And then the next person would say, mine is fast, or something like that. And it goes around and around. So you're trying to give a clue that's not too specific, but not too vague. The one issue I think I ran into as a game is some people just weren't very good at clues. So when it came to them, they kind of gave it away more often than not. And so, you want to have a low score, and so if the person who is less good at giving a good vague but honest clue is earlier in the turn order, when you get there you're gonna have a lower score for the most part. But I don't know, it was a fun activity for sure. If you're looking for a way to kill some time, I think this is an interesting idea. Worth $3 at the thrift store anyway. But anyway, number 24 this month is What's Yours Like? Number 23, I almost feel bad putting this one so low on the list, but I think that is more of an attestation to how good the games were that I played this month. I do feel like this was a pretty solid month. I played a lot of really good games. But this one is Friedman Freese's Fortune. This is part of his Fabled game series. This is from 2F Spiele, Stronghold Games has it in the United States. And officially I played this one time, but I did play through the entire deck. So if you don't know the Fabled game series, hook there is you don't have a rule book. You just start pulling cards off the top of this deck, and you have to go through them in order, and some rules are revealed to you, and the gameplay changes while you go through the deck. This is an interesting... it's like one of those games where you can... sort of like the golf game or Play 9 that I talked about last month, but instead of having cards in front of you, you have a hand of 3 cards, and you're drawing cards, and you're trying to get the best hand according to the current rule as possible. And it starts off pretty basic, like you're just trying to have the highest number value. But some of the cards will give you extra points for having lots of 2s or lots of 1s, or having a straight or whatever. And so you're trying to get the best combination of cards together. And some games leave the deck as you go through it. Some cards change the rules. And I don't know, it was an interesting flow through the deck, and I had fun, but it just felt a little too like the way as quickly as like the game changed, it was hard to like form like, okay, this is a good strategy on how to do this thing, because then the rule would just change, and you're always constantly trying to find a new way to play those cards. And there's a fair amount of luck. It's going to go around like a handful of times. You're only going to draw cards a handful of times each round, and then hopefully you drew some good cards. I did feel like the game was at its best the last 3 or 4 hands. I thought the rule set was interesting. The cards and trying to pull off some pretty crazy combos to get a really good score existed. And maybe if you take all those cards and shuffle it back in and play that rule set, and you can just play as many hands as you want or whatever. But I don't know. Fortune, the fast forward Fortune from Friedman Freese, my 23rd best game this month. Put a positive spin on it. Next, number 22 is the game Quick and Easy. The game is a game I've played a ton, and I have 2 different versions of it, and this is the newest one I've got, and it is quick and easy, ish. I do feel like it's easier to set up. It's easier to explain the game than the original game. But I found that just like the luck of how the cards can come out, it's very easy to lose this game very quickly. But I have won it. I've played it a number of times with a number of different people. You can bust it out really quickly. Anyway, but the more I play it, I'm just not sure. I think this might have a place in my collection, and I can bring it out in certain circumstances, but I definitely prefer the game to the game Quick and Easy. But yeah, this is my number 22 this month, the game Quick and Easy. Faces, another new to me game, another new to me party game I played with the same group that I played, and I did like this one better. If I was going to give it a critique, I did feel like the face set. So in this game, it shows a bunch of faces, and then you have a person that reads a card that says which is the one like most likely to be a bank robber or whatever, and you have to pick the face. Which one looks the most like the bank robber or whatever the category is. And there are male faces, female faces, and animal faces, which I thought were the most difficult to play correctly, or get most people to agree with you. But it's definitely a fun party game activity. I don't know how much I would love this game, or if this would get into any sort of heavy rotation, but I didn't dislike playing it. Number 21, Faces. Number 20, Roland Wright. This is the second month in a row. It was within a handful of days. I played the end of last month and the beginning of this month. And this is a flip and write game, it is a roll and write game. You are rolling dice. And I do find it interesting. I don't know if I'm going to continue playing this game. It's just a little, I don't love it. It's not a bad game. I find it really hard to follow the patterns on the cards. So you're getting these cards and you're trying to create these patterns on your thing. It's just really hard to get them to mesh together really well. It hurts my brain just a little too much for like the level of game it is. But it's not a bad game by any means. And if somebody really wanted to play it, I would teach it to them. Or if somebody really wanted to play it, and I would play it with them. But I don't know if I'm going to be bringing this one out on my own. And so anyway, Roland Wright, the Roland Wright game. Number 20. Number 19, Decrypto. This is another party game. I have a feeling if I play this one more, it will go up. I've only got to play it the one time, and it's a new to me game. And this is an interesting. I've been on the fence about it for a long time. I have heard about it. I've heard lots of good things about it, and I just haven't gotten there yet. But I found it on sale at somewhere, Barnes and Noble, I think. And so I picked it up and was able to play it. My wife is really good at it. She was like we won right away. Like after just a couple, probably about as quick as you could win. She just knew. She just picked up those clues and was able to suss it out from our neighbors, and she just got it. But anyway, good game. And this is another one. This might just be like where this is falling in this month. I just feel like I played like a lot of really good games this month, and this one was good. It really was. But I need more plays. I think to give it a better chance to stand out here. But Decrypto, number 19 this month out of 24. Number 18, Coup. This is one of the games I've played the most in my life. I haven't played it for a few months, but I played this with my kids, and one of my kids really likes this game. And anyway, the social deduction game, just really easy. Always can hammer this one out. Not going to talk too much about it. It is a good game. I've played it so much, it's kind of worn down on me, but it goes in waves. I see the charms. If I don't play it for long enough, and I come back to it, I start to see the charms again. And but if you play it 20 times in a month, you need a month or two before you play it again. But anyway, that's number 18, Coup. And that's our first section. So let's go into our second section. Chocolate. When you're doing those egg hunts, find those chocolate eggs, or eggs with chocolate in them. Always a good find. And take a little break from board games. I'm going to talk about one of my most favorite things I've discovered lately, and that is Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. I do enjoy the diet sodas, and back when I used to drink sugar soda, Dr. Pepper was one of my all-time favorite sodas. I did really like it. Unfortunately, Diet Dr. Pepper tastes awful, and it's terrible, and everyone who likes it is wrong. Sorry, Lene, you're wrong. You're just wrong. But I saw this in the store, the Zero Sugar, and this tastes more like that Dr. Pepper flavor that I remember and love, and I haven't had in so long, and I miss it so much. But so much better option than Diet Dr. Pepper, and I really hope this sticks around and becomes the new standard in Diet Dr. Pepper, calorie-free Dr. Pepper alternative. Anyway, Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Dr. Pepper, if you want to give me some money, I'll take it. Anyway, so yeah, let's go on to our next section. Number 17, Super Skill Pinball 4Cade. I've played this once a long time ago, and I played it a couple times this month. Once at Mock's Boarding House in Bellevue, which is a board game cafe. I got to go there for the first time, and we ordered some food and saw this game, so I opened it up. It happened to be a brand new copy, and we got a play in, and then just coincidentally, I'd ordered this, and it came in. And so I busted out again and played it solo. I like this game, and but the problem with the game is it plays a lot like a pinball, and you're scoring points all the time. But that little break, it's like, okay, so I move my little ball. Okay, I got to score a point. I got to move the ball, scored 2 points. I got to move the ball, and I go and like that back and forth between like moving the ball around. So you're rolling the dice and you have to move it to win the dice, and trying to follow the rules and then remembering to go score your points all the time and doing that correctly. I don't love that part of the game. If I could figure out a way to play this game and it would just score for me, like on an app, which I don't know. I don't love pinball. I think it moves too fast and like it doesn't make sense. So I do like the pace of this, where I can kind of see how things are happening. And it's fun trying to manipulate getting that ball where you need it to go and whatever. It's just that little scoring thing I don't love. But everything else, this is super fun. The puzzle in it is fun. The action in it is fun, and just trying to use those dice and be smart about them to give yourself your best score. I'm not great at it, but it's a good game. Super Skill Pinball 4Cade from Jeff Engelstein, and I believe this was published by WizKids. Next, Santa Monica. This is a flip and write game, or drafting game, kind of, and not writing at all. I don't know why I said that. That was just absolutely wrong. But this is a fun little bright game. You are drafting cards. This has the future market, so you can kind of see what's coming, and so you can plan just a little bit. But you take turns drafting cards, and you are trying to get visitors. You're trying to get your VIP moved around the board, and you're creating like a boardwalk and a beach scene as you draft these cards. And then you're trying to get your visitors or tourists to get to certain locations that you've built in this boardwalk and in this cards, so that they are doing the activities that score points. And you also have these VIPs that you can move around the board. And as they visit different places, the more places they visit that they want to see, the more points you score. Really interesting. I only got to play it the one time. I would like to play it some more. I did kind of enjoy it, but I feel like knowing how the game flows a little bit better would help in the future, and I might start enjoying this one more. But it was decent. I did like it, but I only got the one playing, so we'll see as I get to play it some more. Number 15, Floor Plan. I actually bought this at Mox after I played. I'd seen this. I'd been interested in it. They had it there for a good price, and so this is an interesting roll and write where you are rolling dice, and then you have to do something. Either build a room with the dimensions of those two dice, and then make it be a room that corresponds with some rooms that those dice correspond to, or put features on your board of one of those numbers. So you build like 5 windows, or putting windows on your house, creating pools, stuff like that. And what you're trying to do is satisfy the wants of these customer cards that are put out at the beginning of the game. So you're trying to do those things so you can score bonuses, so you can score points. It's pretty good. It's maybe a little more thinky than other games. I played it solo once, and I played it 2-player, and it works pretty much the same either way. You're bouncing off, maybe with another person, you kind of bounce off, kind of see what they're doing, and kind of go for another angle. There's quite a bit of planning that needs to happen. You can definitely like draw yourself into bad situation if you're not paying attention to the goals, and the right rolls don't come up in making those things happen. But it's a good thinky game, not super long. I enjoyed playing it. I will probably play this some more. Floor Plan. Number 14, Sovereign Skies. I bought this game on a recommendation on Board Game Geek. I ran a little contest of sorts, and I said, hey, if you recommend a game that piques my interest, I end up buying it, I'll buy you a copy. So I bought this, and I bought it for somebody else. The funny thing was, so I bought the other person's copy, and it went to them right away. And then I had bought my copy, and it got caught up with a pre-order of something else, and I didn't get it for a long time. But I got it, and I played it. Pretty simple game to understand. I was able to pull out the rule book with the person I was playing with, and we walked through the rules probably about 10, 15 minutes. And then we were up and running. We had to refer back a couple times to just make sure we're doing things correctly. But a pretty simple game, straightforward. You're moving around the circular board with this ship, and as you go to the different locations, you can do different actions on these planets, and you're trying to build up these like bases, so you can get like the influence of these senators that give you points. And you're just trying to it's sort of a race to get the most points before some certain end game conditions happen. It's a very interesting game. I definitely want to play it some more. I'm not sure if there's like a lot of depth there that might bring me back. Like, it's not. I could see some people getting really into it and wanting to play it over and over again. I'm not sure if that's going to happen with this one for me. But it's a solid title from Deepwater Games, I think, is the one that published this. It is an interesting box. It's very shiny. It's hard to read while it's on the shelf. But Sovereign Skies. Number 13, Similo. I just really enjoy Similo every time I play it. It's such a simple game. I showed this to some coworkers of mine and played it really quickly. I was like, hey, play this game with me. I was explaining the game basically while you're playing. I know I've talked about it in the past, but I really enjoy this one. I just saw a couple more sets. One of them became available on Miniature Market today, and then I think the other one should be coming soon with their animals and wild animals. So some interesting sets, just a deck of cards and a little deduction game that you can play in a few minutes. Similo, good game. Next, Ginkgopolis. I played this game a long time ago on a friend's copy, and I remember talking about it when I did my all the games of all time. I was like, I don't really remember this game that much, but Pearl Games just came out with a new edition of it, and it's a good game. I think my memories of it were better than the actuality. There are some for a game that's kind of as serious as it feels. There's some randomness to it that's difficult. I've played it solo a couple of times, and with other people. And I do think the solo variant is not good. I think if you win, I think you're just getting lucky. Weird things can happen. The bot that you're playing against basically always gets to build, even if what they would build would be utterly impossible, and it can make huge swings in the score and give them lots of points and kind of mess up what you've been carefully trying to do throughout the entire game pretty randomly, which tracks with the game. Stuff happens, but like the last time I played it solo, I was doing a really good job of trying to keep things separate to score like the area majorities, and then the bot flipped over a tile. It went in a position where it would have cost them like 18 resources to be able to do it, and it swung the score like 30 points, and I lost, and that was just really frustrating. That it's not a thing that would or could ever happen in a regular play of it, and it's just, I don't know. If someone could tweak that bot and make it better, I'd maybe try that again. But I did get to play 2-player this month, and I've heard it's better with more players, and which I can see. But I had a pretty good time with 2 players. The score was really tight. It's a good game. I'm not sure it'll ever hit like that top tier status for me. Just the style of game it is. It's good, just not great in my eyes. Anyway, Ginkgopolis, number 12 of 24 this month. Number 11, Metro X. This is the second game that I bought at Mock's boarding house. I'd heard about this one, but never had a chance to pick it up. It's from GameRight in the United States. But it was one of those Japanese games that came over. And yeah, it's a flip and right. You're flipping all these cards with numbers on them, and then you're allocating these numbers to a train car, and then you have to go that far down the train line with those X's. But the train lines intersect a lot, and you can't go past where it already has an X. So you lose some efficiency in putting those X's out if you're not careful about how they come out. Or you can get really far on a line without putting anything on that line through working with other lines that go concurrently with it in different locations. Anyway, I really like this game. I played it a solo a few times. Got a 2-player play of it in. In the 2-player game, there's an interesting, you're kind of racing to finish some lines, so there's some first place and second place points, which is interesting, but as a solo challenge, like a puzzle, I found it really fun and engaging. I'll probably do it some more when I have some time. But anyway, good game, Metro X. Number 10, Bravo. I think the German name for this is Nochmal so gut. Something like that. I don't probably pronounce that totally wrong. Which is a sequel of sorts to Nochmal, or in English, I believe it was called Encore, which is a game I just really enjoyed. I played this a couple years ago at BGG Spring with my friend Doug and some other friends that were there, but Doug had brought it, and played the app a bunch. But the cool thing about Bravo, and again, this is from Ink and Marcus Brand. I like to shout out to them. They're great designers, even though they do those exit games that I hate. But what this adds, the gameplay is really similar to Knockmall or Encore, but in this one, the rows have some bonuses to them, which is not in Knockmall. And additionally, there's another die that has like a bonus thing. So as you earn the opportunity to use those bonus dice, and you can use them for the action that it rolls that round, and you can just use those and just trying to do that efficiently and kind of help you out when you can help you out, and just kind of hit some combos. There's I've only played this solo. I haven't played this with anybody else, but every time it's like those last couple of rounds, I've always been hitting some combos, which I think I'm like kind of like stuck. It's like, this isn't gonna work, and I'd be able to trigger some combos together to do some stuff that I wanted to do. Anyway, I think it's fantastic. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably pick Bravo. But they're both good games if you like that style of thing. So Bravo, number 10. And number 9, My City. I had this as one of the top tier games last game, and I see I made a typo here. I believe the BGG rate on this is around a 7. I've messed something up there when I did this, but so I finished this. I will probably never play this game again, but it was fun. Yeah, through the 24 times I played to get through the campaign with my son, and we had a good time. I ended up being victorious in the overall scoring of the game. The things that came out as you played were interesting. It does have it kind of resets at a certain phase of the game that you can play over and over again. I don't know if that was the most interesting version of the game, and so I'm not super interested in going back and doing that. I think the campaign, the legacy aspect of it was very interesting and kept me engaged, but I don't know if I want to scale back just to play the game. But it is interesting, like a Tetris-y type thing where you're putting these polyomino shapes on your board and trying to make them fit. But yeah, I do recommend this if you're looking for a lightweight legacy thing to play. We would play like a series of 3 games most of the time, and it would take a little over an hour to do the 3 games. That includes reading the rules and scoring and all that stuff. But yeah, My City, Reiner Knizia, pretty good game. Like I said, it kind of flopped back and forth between a top tier game and kind of on the edge there, but yeah, My City. And Blue Moon City, another Reiner Knizia game. This version was from Simon. This is an older game published in 2006 originally. My copy's a newer one, but yeah, I liked this. I played this with my son. You're trying to create like some area majority on these different tiles to get the favor of these dragons, so you can score points. It's kind of a race to get the end game scoring condition and score that way. And I thought it was really good. I might want to play it with more players and see how that works out. But yeah, real good game. Another new to me game. I look forward to playing it some more. Blue Moon City. And now let's talk about our top tier games. This is the top 7 games of this month, and we're gonna talk. So pretty. Number 7 is going to be Targi. Targi, however you pronounce it. This is a game I've played online a handful of times, and I played it once a long time ago at the very end of a 24-hour gaming marathon. I did not do well, but recently it became available again, so I picked it up and I got to play it again. I need to find some opponents to play this again. It's a great 2-player game. Plays fairly quickly. It's a worker placement, but there's some blocking. The way the blocking happens is really interesting as the game progresses. You gotta feed the people or whatever. There's a little penalty every so often that you gotta pay, or you have to pay a different penalty. Just trying to outmaneuver your opponent to give yourself the best options to build your tableau to score points most efficiently. I don't know. Mechanically, it's just super solid. It's a great little 2-player back and forth game that plays quickly. Targi, Andreas E.G.R is the man. Or woman. I'm not sure who. I don't know. Anyway, Targi, great game. Number 6, Cubitos. I really like Cubitos. Automobiles is a game I really liked. When I heard about this, I think it's from the same designer. I'm actually not 100% sure, but they're both from E.G. Right? Is that true? Yeah. John D. Clare is the designer of this one, and I wish I could see it. It's sitting right there, but I can't see the designer's name. Anyway, and I was afraid they're going to be too similar, but they're not. The great thing about Cubitos is it kind of marries some ideas from some other great games like Quacks of Quedlinburg, or what was the other one? There's some push your luck element, and there's some Quarriors was kind of the other one that somebody else pointed out. Kind of felt like that, and but it's a race game. You're trying to go around this board as a race, and you are. The one thing I didn't like about automobiles was there's like this wear thing, like so you're filling your bag full of like these things, and you're randomly pulling them out, and you can just get bad draws, or you can just get a bunch of these brown cubes in there that aren't very good, and it's rough. But this one, you have a little more control about what cubes are coming in there, but then they're dice, and you're rolling them, and most of the faces on most of the dice are blank, and so you're pushing your luck. If you ever roll all your dice and you come up with no symbols, you bust. And then you just kind of get a compensation thing for the round. But you kind of miss out on doing stuff that round. And so it's that push your luck thing is just really fun. I've played this twice, lost terribly both times, had a blast both times. If that's not a mark of a good game, I don't know what is. Anyway, number 6 this month, Cubitos. John D. Clare, knocking it out of the park. Good job. Next one, Hallertau. This is Uwe Rosenberg's latest big box game. I have only played this solo player so far. I played it twice last month. I've actually played it a couple times this month already before I got a chance to make the video. So we'll talk about it again next month. But is not as good as, say, Feast for Odin or Agricola or Caverna. But it's really good. And of all those games, it probably has the best solo. Just because it plays so smoothly, like the setup in between rounds is just so smooth. In fact, the gameplay is exactly the same, solo player or whether you're playing with other people, as far as I can tell in the rules. And it just plays so smoothly. There's kind of 10 steps that happen every round. You can just go through there. The setup in between rounds is pretty minimal, and you're just ready to play. And like a lot of his games, and probably more so in this game, it's all about getting these cards and fulfilling these cards and getting the bonuses and the advantages off of these cards in order to make yourself more efficiently in this worker placement aspect. Anyway, I really enjoyed the solo play. I need to play this with some other people, kind of solidify my thoughts. But so far, having a really good time with Hallertau. Again, if I was going to rank all the games, Caverna, Feast for Odin, Agricola, better games, Hallertau, really solid game. Really, really solid. Really, really good. Having a good time with it. Next, Lost Ruins of Arnak. I have one play of this. I also have an additional digital play that I played on Board Game Arena with my friend Jared. which is actually how I learned the game. And anyway, this game is great. It has the trappings of like a much more complicated game, but I actually found it played really smoothly. And yeah, but it's a good resource. You're trying to generate the correct resources in order to do the things that you want. There's a little research track thing that you're trying to go up, and the way you maneuver around that track is actually kind of interesting. You have two pieces, but one has to stay ahead of or equal to the other one, so you just can't go up. And they give you different advantages as they go from level to level. There's a little race there. First person to get to certain spots gets some advantages. And but there's this, and that's just one little part of the game. There's another couple of main parts of the game that are going on, and they all score points. And so you're trying to bounce back and forth. There's some worker placement to this. There's some deck building. So one interesting thing about the deck building aspect is, unless you're really conscious about getting cards that let you cycle through your deck, you're not going to go through your deck very much. So you're kind of building, you're kind of getting cards because they're going to come up pretty soon, and you might get one or two uses out of a card during the game. Some of them are worth points. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this game. I look forward to playing it some more. The board game arena implementation was still in the beta, but it felt pretty good. There was one little thing where I felt like I didn't understand why it wouldn't let me do what I did by, it could have just been my not understanding the rules very well. But anyway, good game. Great game. And this might go up if I get to play this some more. If I, one problem, and this is a good problem to have, and total first world problem, was I bought a whole bunch of games, and I felt like this pressure to like get through this stack of game. Look at this stack of game, which is getting smaller. But then I feel like I need to come back to some of these games. But I feel this pressure to play this other stack of games that I bought. So don't buy so many games at one time. This may be the lesson there. But anyway, this was a really good one. But I still have 3 better games this month. So let's get to them. Number 3, Codenames Duet. Not going to talk a ton about this, other than I finally played this game in a team format. I've always played it 2-player, which is sort of how it's duet. It's designed that way, but you can also play it as 2 teams that are working together. The dynamics end up being a little bit different, and I don't know if it's not my preferred way to play. 2-player is the way to go. But it was a good time, and it worked. And I played with some people who had played Codenames a lot, but hadn't played the duet version. And yeah, I think it went over well. Good game, really good game. I love Codenames Duet, all-time great game. But not my favorite game this month. Number 2, Praga Caput Regni. I talked about it last month. I got to play it again. And man, this is another one of those games I'm really hoping I don't get lost in the shuffle. I need to bring this out. This has the potential of being just a game that I love forever. I think the action wheel is super interesting. I still get a little confused about how that action wheel counts. And maybe I've been doing it wrong, and maybe I won't like it as much if I figure it out. But there's this tiny set of actions that you can do. There are some pressures in when and how you do them, and trying to combo those things together to get everything done is just a great mind puzzle. Vladimir Sui, I don't know. You're great. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep buying them. But my number 1 game this month, and I had pleased as punch of this game. I kind of fought buying this game for a really long time. I heard lots of great things. I had some chances to buy it. It was sitting at my friendly local game store, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I've heard so many good things about it, but it's Isle of Cats. And I still, even after I bought it, I was still a little, it's like, I don't know, this will probably be okay. But man, it is excellent. Plays really quick. The card drafting is really cool. trying to position yourself to get the correct cats in this when you're buying and drafting the cats is interesting. Trying to place them on your boat with the polyominoes and trying to snake them around and cover the things you need to cover, and trying to get the right cats. Man, I really enjoyed this game. I've played it solo a few times. I played it 4-player and 3-player, and at all player counts. Really enjoyed it. Just a really good game. And man, like I said, this was a good month of gaming for me. I didn't get to play probably as much as I wanted to. I could have played some more games, and there's some days I kind of wish I could have played. But I cannot complain about the games that I played. Like I said, even that worst game I played this month, What's Your Name? I did not have a bad time at all. It just kind of a weak game in game aspects. But I had a good time. Fortune, I feel so bad putting that number 23 because I did not have a bad time playing that game at all. I just, like a lot of Friedman Freeze games, sometimes the concept is more interesting than the actual game, and that is probably true there. But anyway, I've got to bid adieu. Have a good time, and I'll see you guys later. I don't know. I need to come up with a tagline.
Where? I'm making a YouTube video, Bev.